PNC News First is presented by the Bank of Guam, the People's Bank. Pizza Hut, we're taking pizza to where it's never been before. Taco Bell, the only place where you live Moss. Colgate, the #1 brand recommended by dentists. And IT&D.
PNC News First, broadcasting live in high definition from Tumon, Guam on KEQI and KTGM and on KPPI on Saipan. Here is your PNC News team.
Half a day you're watching PNC's News First. We're live from our broadcast center in Akanta. I'm Ayana Shed. Thanks for tuning in. Topping our newscast tonight. As the summer comes to a close, the roads will become busier this coming week. Let's check in with PNC reporter Amanda Dedicatoria on how you can keep your family safe on the streets.
Starting tomorrow, hundreds of students will be putting on their uniforms in preparation for the new school year. That means that more buses, cars, and student drivers will be filling the island streets. According to Guam Police Department spokesperson Sergeant Paul Tapao, motorists can expect to experience delays on their morning commute.
People are really going to be trying to get to and from home to the respective schools and of course to work. So it's going to be an uptick in traffic, so please expect delays. We ask motorists to please be extra cautious out there. Pay attention to school buses. Pay attention to the first indicators, which are the flashing red lights and of course the stop sign. Once the stop sign is deployed in the bus, please adhere to that.
Tapao also advises the public to be alert of their surroundings and to maintain speeds of 15 miles per hour when driving in a school zone, as students will be using the crosswalks in those areas, and for parents to teach their kids proper road safety skills.
Develop a plan with fellow parents who also utilize the same bus shelter. Exercise stranger danger safety tips. Teach kids to wait patiently in the bus shelter rather than playing outside. Teach the kids how to properly and safely cross the streets by looking both ways.
In addition, Sergeant Tapao says that GPD will be joining the Guam Fire Department along with the Guam Army National Guard in the second annual High Five the 5-0, an event in which law enforcement and first responders greet incoming students at their first day of school.
It helps alleviate the stress and the nervousness that, the fear factor when kids go into school, when they see a smiling police officer welcoming them back. It really gives them a sense of confidence, but it really is to foster a relationship with the kids in the community.
The schools that GPD will be visiting include Lyndon B. Johnson, Timuning and Inarahan Elementary, and the Antolon and Jose Rios Middle Schools. With school buses set to go to the streets and teachers ready to open their doors tomorrow, we had PNC reporter Amanda Dedicatoria ask you how you've been getting your family ready for the new school year. Let's check it out.
With the start of the school year just one day away, PNC checked in with a couple of parents from our local community to see how they're preparing their kids for their classes. For Keisha, a mother residing in the village of Agat, she feels ready to bring her two sons, Kayan and Keegan, out of the house and back to school.
Well, we're trying to get on the sleeping early, and yeah, that's about it.
And as for Kayan and Keegan, who spent their summers playing games and going to their grandma's house, this is what they had to say when asked about what they like about school. What do you like about school?
Playing.
That's okay. And how about you?
Learning, having fun, meeting your friends every day, and that's
so good. And as for Puner, a resident of Totu, he says that preparing his excited 7-year-old daughter has been keeping him and his family busy looking for school supplies and uniforms.
She said she really wants to go back to school. She loves school so much. I really want her to go back because she said she's boring staying at home. She wants to go back to school, so enjoy with the classmates.
Amanda Dedicatoria, PNC News.
School for public students on the island will officially start tomorrow, August 13th. For information about preparing your child for the new school year, head to the Back to School information page on gdoe.net. Switching gears, after an autopsy conducted by the Chief Medical Examiner's Office yesterday, the death of Keith Castro has been ruled a homicide. 2 weeks after Keith Castro was shot at a home in Jigo, Guam Police Department spokesperson Sergeant Paul Tapao says that Castro died from a single gunshot wound to the torso. Castro was found unresponsive after police say he was beaten with a baton by Thomas Titano and then shot by Joshua Palacios on July 28th. Initially, the investigation was classified as a shooting investigation, but with the results of the autopsy now available, Tapao, the reclassification of the case is to be determined.
I would have to visit our detectives on this and where they move for reclassifying, but nonetheless, the autopsy was performed and the findings showed that the cause of death was a gunshot wound and the manner of death was a homicide.
Titano has already been charged with aggravated assault, while Palacios was charged with murder, among other charges. Both men continue to be held in custody. Well, stay tuned. Coming up on PNC News First, we have more on the landmark federal case that places a spotlight on Guam, and GVB encourages students to register for travel talks. So stay with us.